Hi. Yeah. Let me just say, because obviously Spencer's not here, because Spencer's always late. He actually runs on Jamaican time. And yes, I am being specific. Downtime, we call it Jamo Town. Jamo time. Fab, this guy could never be. I don't know what's the matter with him. I don't know how we're expected to run a business if the people that run the business don't want to come on time. And then, not only that, when the business fails, you start blaming other people for you expect to get results for the work that you don't put in. You expect to get paid for the work that you don't put in. And then you want to blame others. So, bruv, I don't know what's the matter with this brother. There's always an excuse. Always an excuse. The man behind the cam, Gary Blake, Mr. Stamina for sale, will bear me witness. This guy just can't. I don't know, bruv, it's madness. It's actually madness. I don't know whether to laugh, cry, bruv, start fasting. Fam, I don't know whether to start praying, going on some pilgrimage or something that this guy can be on time. He just can't do it. No matter what you do, you tell him late. You tell him a late time, he comes even later. You tell him an early time, he comes later. You tell him the right time, he comes later. I just don't get it, bro. It's just madness. Man, look. Man making me change up my glasses, change up the Gucci glasses. Bro, I don't even know what glasses to wear. I don't even know what glasses to wear. The brother is all Miss Ringside. You need to talk to this guy. You actually need to talk to him because I'm telling you, 1,000,000% there's going to be an excuse. There always is. There's always an excuse. Excuses. So when he does eventually join us, people, I want to hear what the excuse is going to be now. That's what he soon come. I know him. He actually can hear my voice vibrating in the atmosphere, and so he knows I'm upset, and he knows I'm just trying to style it out. But anyway, let us start by saying, dream it, believe it, but most of all, make sure you become it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of The Fight is Right, a show that continues to grow from its inevitable embryonic stage until full birth. It's like we're at full birth now. Yeah, bro. You know that. All them fancy watches he buys and he's still always late. K2 Jr. Bro, you want to dash away them watches? Some little dad watches that you fooling, man, like they're real. Old time Pool L Finance. Yes, must have big up my brother. As for the Ben Eubank Jr., I'm not. Hold on, let me just scroll that down. Let's put that up, gal. Let's put that comment up. Pool L Finance. Yes, Marcelo, big up my brother. As for the Ben versus Eubank Jr., I'm not in support of it. Conor Benn can get very hurt in this fight. Eubank is not as easy as people think. Conor will get damaged. And this is the talking points what we're going to dive into. But that's a great, I mean, me personally, I'm just going to be real. The fight don't make no sense. Can I have a 1 on the board who agrees with me? Just a number 1. Just put a number 1 if you agree with me that this fight don't make no sense. Because, bro, Stamina for sale, the man behind the cam is the first one. 1. Metsa Osu. 1. Pool L Finance. 1. Wallace. 1. Bruv, it's a madness. JB 1, Cam Joseph 1, Luke 1, Barry Coobs 1, Jermaine 1, Mixed Master Dodger 1, Dean Wilson 1, Mickey Goldmill 1, Dino Grigoripoulos 1, Late Show 42 1, Gunny 205 1, Lorenzo 1, Sugar Ray 29 1, Francisco 1, OG 1, fam, bare ones in the building. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, Rob, someone needs. Oh, who said they can't hear me? So, Gary, is there a problem in transmission? Because someone. Nah, it's got to be your phone. Because everyone. Yeah, I know it's your phone. SS1, sort it out, mate. All them old Nokia brick phones, you need to dash them away. Only makes sense for Ben. All right. Well, since our co-host isn't here, Gary, the man behind the cam, he says, I don't understand what Conor Benn achieves if he wins this besides the cash. But he has been built well. Surely the money will come eventually. Again, fantastic point from the man behind the cam. I just don't see what it's about. I mean, they got money. Then obviously we always need more money. I'm not saying that, listen, the cost of living always rises. It ain't stopped rising. Right now it's at an all-time high. So I get that part there. And I guess they're fighters, so they're not really thinking about, what happens if I get hurt? Just like the Derek Chisora situation where people are telling him to retire, you might get hurt. Bruv, he ain't thinking about getting hurt. He's thinking about rocking. And that's what fighters do. So I get that part there also. But I just can't see how, other than the commercial aspect, which is inevitably what it has to be about, what Fight Fan Live, he says he said we can hear you. Yeah. The commercial aspect. Let's talk about what can happen and what can't happen. Okay, so let's look at the fact that, let's say Conor Benn does win the fight. A bloody battle, because one thing we know about Chris Eubank Jr., he's coming in shape. He's coming in shape and he's coming to do 12 rounds. And he is a chip off the old block. He ain't gonna lie down. He will take a man to the trenches. It's a fact. He's gonna take you to he took everyone. Even the only person I can't really, even he did. Even Billy Joe Saunders. You go watch the end of the fight, the last stage of the fight. He took Billy Joe into the trenches. You understand? And Billy wasn't even fit, admittedly. That's what he says. But George Groves, that was a serious fight as well. Blood everywhere. So we know that it's not a fight where Conor Benn's just going to go in there and just, whack a man out. I don't believe that is the case. And so you're talking about a welterweight, a middleweight who's probably, he can actually do super middleweight, Chris Eubank Jr. He's actually a super middleweight, in my opinion. So they're meeting halfway. I'm hearing the fight is made at 153. And it just seems like a dangerous fight. And you know what? I've got my comments, but I really like to hear other people's comments. Off the Canvas Boxing says, for Conor, there you go. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Gary, get him back on. Anyway, the Off the Canvas Boxing, he says, for Conor, he fights and tests himself against a bigger, more experienced fighter. For Eubank, I'm struggling to give an explanation other than the money. Another great point from Off the Canvas Boxing. Who wins in 2022? Eubank Senior, Ben Senior? Because it looks like we're going to that. Raheem Gull, parliamentary procedure. To be honest, the question is, are Eubank and Ben world-class fighters? Very, very key, poignant point. Very good point. Very good question. I'll leave that to you guys. And probably Spencer to get an opinion on Spencer. Are they world class? Mixed Master Dodger. Conor will be lifted off his feet with a corkscrew uppercut. Right, man's getting into details now. All right, cool. Balfour says Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, they are doing too much, to be honest. You know what? They've actually got us talking, but the fight ain't been announced. I keep saying this. I need to see this fight actually announced. Hold tight, Miss Ringside, the lovely Miss Ringside, the beautiful Miss Ringside, blessing the show. I ain't seen you for a hot minute. I know you've been busy, but thank you for the 17.99. She says, I've missed you all. I can't believe I've missed so many lives, but I can't wait for today's conversation. But can we also discuss Lawrence Okolie, or have I missed that? Big up Tundi, Gary, and Spencer. And as you call his name, so shall he appear.
Nah, you know what? My apologies, Tun. My computer was just playing about on me. Every time I was going in, it wouldn't let me go to my camera. I said, bro, what's going on here? Like they're trying to bug me.
Well, that's why you usually do trial tests before you come on.
Listen, the camera trial test, it wasn't allowing me to go on. So my apologies, man.
No, you don't try to start trialing 2 minutes before 8 when we're due on at 8 o'clock.
Look, man. Big up my real family, Baba Tundi Ajay. Big up man like Gary. My apologies to everybody why I weren't on the thing. But after I got to talk to you, Tun. Some people just peeing me off right now, but it is what it is. Big up Bobby Wright. Big up Bobby Wright. You know what I mean? It is. Do you know what? You can't buy family, bro. Trust me on that.
Come on. Anyway, let's. I know we'll talk about it.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Big up Bobby Wright. Thank you for the 449, sir. He said, come on, I've sorted. I'm not in Germany in October. Lions in the camp. If I'm not in Germany in October, Lions in the camp all day. Thank you for the 449.
Even if Bobby is in Germany, he's still in our camp. Bobby's a real one. After props, Bobby Wright. He's just a real human being, man. You know what I mean? Good man. Very good man.
Absolutely. Well, let's listen. Money talks nowadays. it always has spoken. But Miss Ringside is wondering what's happening with the Lawrence Okolie situation. We actually did talk about it. Lawrence was supposed to join us, but I guess he's keeping low at the moment because that was quite strong stuff that came from Lawrence last week or so. And I'm sure there's been some ramifications because the tweets and the notifications have been taken off Julie, and I ain't seen Lawrence.
So, you know what? When you're dealing with someone like Lawrence Okolie, he's a very proud man. You know what I mean? And he's gonna, you know, he's a proud man who's gonna air his opinion. And you know what? I'll tell you the next thing what I rate about Lawrence Okolie. Regardless when, like, the going back and forth and, you know, and him leaving 258 and him leaving Matchroom and Eddie Hearn and those guys. Bottom line is this. Lawrence Okolie believes in himself and believes his worth. Right? So when other people are saying, well, boy, you've earned this amount and you should be lucky because other fighters are earning this. No, he's got in his head that he is of this stature of value. And he doesn't believe that it's been reciprocated within the companies that is there. So, you know what I mean? I'm not on no right or wrong because what I am saying is this. With 258 management, they've given him a hell of opportunity because he's had the opportunity. But if he couldn't fight and he wasn't winning, remember, he's unbeaten. He was the first out of the Olympic squad of 2016 to win a world title. And you got to look at the things that he's done. He's won British, Commonwealth, and European, and gone on to win a world title. So we got to give props where it is, man. So, you know what I mean? On the Lawrence case, this is just a boxing business. This is nothing new. These things always happen. And it's about relationships. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's like anything. You could have one Chris Gallen man say, why'd you leave this gal and and all the rest of it? Because
they're not saying that, Spence. They're grabbing the girl after you let her go. Anyway, but I mean, the topic is Ben and Eubanks, but I feel that with the Lawrence situation, sometimes
at this little girl, Rhea, go upstairs.
Yes, Rhea, you alright?
Yes.
You're keeping daddy company, yeah?
No, go upstairs or mommy be upset. Come on.
I want to tell you something.
You want to tell me something? 1 second. Go on, carry on, Tony. You go.
Do your family business. All right, yeah. With the Lawrence situation, sometimes that's why you need a bit of guidance, because you know, deleting the tweets and all of that is all very good, but anyone who knows anything knows that you can delete what you want. It's still there. Nowadays, people just take snapshots, bro. They repost that thing. So how this affects Lawrence moving forward, I don't know. What I do know is that he's a very, very good fighter, and I'm probably gonna unify the cruiserweight division, and that's really what we should really focus on. Although it's a talking point, and I'm sure Lawrence. Listen, we've all said one thing or another that we shouldn't have in the past, or that we felt sorry that we said it, and maybe this is just one of them, and he'll move on with his career. I don't want to really, you know, it's funny that when certain people make certain statements, people jump on this thing like it's the Stockwell Strangler. Bro, the other side, he just said something like, let's just move on and let's just focus on the boxing. And
yeah, exactly. And also, we should be focused on the positives.
Yes.
And I got to give Lawrence Okolie, as far as I'm concerned, Lawrence Okolie, for the talent that he possesses, is a massive overachiever. Right? He's a massive overachiever, and he's going to achieve even more.
Why do you say he's an overachiever? I just wonder.
Right. The reason being is, like, to the aesthetics of boxing, yeah, and to the calisthenics and to his body type, he's a very awkward-looking professional boxer. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So for him to have achieved, nobody weren't calling his name. When the guys came out in Olympus, everything was Boatsy. They weren't calling Lawrence Okolie's name. That's what I'm saying. He's a massive overachiever because his name weren't being called like that. So for him to have gone on and done the things that he's done, like I said, British, Commonwealth, European, and WBO cruiserweight champion of the world, in that limited amount of fights as well, with that limited amount of experience, the kid has done incredibly well. That's what I'm saying is an overachiever.
I think you should, because I've heard you say that word a few times, and I don't really agree with that word, Spence. I'll tell you why. Because even though you're saying he's an overachiever, in his own mind, he isn't an overachiever. He's probably underachieved in his mind. He probably wants to achieve more. So
and that's why I give the kid all the credit in the world, because he's a person, like, just like I'm saying, like, by me saying that he's an overachiever, I'm not saying it with like a disrespectful tone, like, oh my goodness gracious, because if you know anything about, as you know, boxing is very cerebral, and if you know anything about Lawrence Okolie, he has got immense belief. It's not no joke, right? His belief is, it's you know what I mean? I think it's something to do with Nigerian, man, because I know that you got that kind of mad belief as well, but he's got that real pepe, you know what I mean? That belief. So because he's got that belief, I'm saying, if you look at his style sometimes can be seen as being ugly, but it's effective. And because of that, that's why I'm saying he's a massive overachiever. Because I'm saying, like, if I was to go tick the boxes in Lawrence Okolie, and I'm going through the boxes, what do you do particularly great? I don't think he does anything particularly great by his punching power, right? But his belief overrides everything else. He's kind of awkward. He's similar on the awkwardness to, like, Michael Spinks. And Michael Spinks, as far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest light heavyweights ever. So that's where I'm drawing the comparisons when it comes to Lawrence Okolie. So when I'm saying that he's an overachiever, I'm saying he's an overachiever because I'm saying with that herky-jerky style that he possesses, he's an overachiever. But if you know anything about Lawrence Okolie, and I'm telling you, see, you know what I mean? His mindset is, it's on another level. Lawrence Okolie's a guy running through that wall, you know? I'm going through the wall. And he wants to try to run through the wall and get through it. So that's what I'm saying. That's no disrespect to Lawrence Okolie, because me and him have had this personal conversation, like, face to face. So that's what I'm saying on that. But I always knew from day dot when I see him and, like, his mindset, I said, you're the first one out of all of them boys to become a champion. And I mean, I spoke to Lawrence the other day, and I wouldn't mind trying to get him on the show, but I know he's in Dubai right now, so you know them kicking big nuts. But we'll see. I'm gonna try and get him on for next week. Still, I'm gonna try and get him on for next week.
Okay, well, let's get back to the topic. What is your opinion on this Conor Benn versus Eubank fight? Because I was straight out the bat, and I said the fight don't make no sense to me, other than the fact that it is strictly for money. And not only that, I'm still a bit weary because until this fight is announced, I feel they've just got people talking. It's almost like the Spence and Crawford fight. Oh, every second they're tweeting, the fight is almost done. The fight is almost done. Bro, I don't want to hear the fight's almost done. Announce the thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Announce it. Announce it. So there's been a lot of talk about this fight. I'm in the gym with Conor's people, and they're telling me it ain't on. And then I said, nah. I know, sometimes your own family might not know what's going on because they're not in the circles. And I'm like, it's happening. From what I've heard, it's happening. But
it's happening. No, seriously, it's happening.
It's still talk, it's still conjure, but I want to see the announcement. So I ain't heard it. Has Eddie Hearn spoke about it? I ain't heard Eddie Hearn speak about it.
Eddie ain't spoken about it yet. But from my inside sources, I heard more.
Yeah, sorry. 1 second. But Yard Baterbium ain't announced. Have you heard me talk about it? Tony Pugilis boy, have you heard me speak about it? You're talking about it. You ain't heard me talk about it. Bro, so don't even get me started. The fight, you will hear about it when the fight is a done deal. Well, you ain't heard me speak about it. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you're gassing people up. The reason why you're asking me is because you ain't heard me gas up the thing. Because I'm not in the gas business unless I'm promoting the fight when the fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. Until then, it's just a low profile. Things are happening behind the scenes, which we don't need to discuss. But when it's done, you will know about it. So that's where, Tony Pugilis, I know he didn't really mean nothing about it, but I'm just telling you, the reason why you ain't heard me talking about it, and the reason why we ain't spoken about it on the show, other than when it was first announced that, their side had agreed, it is where it is. But the reason is to me, our fight is more realistic. Yeah, hence why we went over to New York. But this fight it's not even realistic. That's why I want to hear the announcement. Because it doesn't, bro, 1 minute you're talking about fighting Furman, Eubank chat about fighting GGG and all these man, and then now you're fighting each other. So I'm not sure, the fight, listen, it's not, I'm definitely going to watch the fight. we're definitely going to, you might even be there. I'm definitely
1 minute, what, you be there as well?
No, sir.
I'm
if
saying
that
like,
fight is
across the
before,
road from your house. You know what I mean?
If that fight is, wait. If that fight is before October the 22nd, you will not see me there. Yeah. You understand? You will not see me there. I will be at home. I will do the watch along, but I won't be there. So, hopefully this week, maybe, somebody on here is hearing what I'm saying, and this week it will be announced. But what's your opinion on the fight? Who do you think wins the fight? Why do they win the fight?
Right now, it's not even a case of like the opinions of the fight. Last week, while I was at Derek Chisora versus Pulev fight, I see Conor, and Conor come up to me, and he's like, "Oh, Spence, sorry to hear about your mum." And the brother hugged me, yeah? I thought that you was going to break my ribs.
Okay, what's that mean?
What
that mean?
Conor is a strong youth,
Brother, Hulk Hogan could hug you and nearly broke it, but he can't outbox you.
No, I know that, but Ton, I'm telling you, the brother, he's a strong youth, I'm there looking at certain things, and you know what? Like physically, he doesn't look like a big welterweight anyway. But I know that he walks around big, right?
And wait. You know me, I'm sharp on these things. Please don't let me start today. don't let me start today. A journalist never broke the news. Bob Arum and Frank Warren told you the news. So don't get me started. And you're a man that come on this thing regular, but don't get me hot. Don't get me hot, because I will block you. Because I don't want to start this lovely Sunday with block. Because, bro, I'm ready. My fingers are itching tonight. So don't try it. I'm going to allow you this time. Anyway, sorry, Spence.
Yeah, so no, Jermaine Williams, stop causing trouble. So I'm telling him before I start telling man about you and Garfield, right? So what I'm trying to say is like, he's a it's a you know what? It's a snatch and grab on both behalves. Yeah? But it's more to do with the world that we're living in today. The world that we're living today, that we can get RuPaul, Frankie Paul, Jake Paul.
RuPaul. No.
Yeah,
RuPaul's that. Anyway.
yeah, right. We can get these man here. You know what I mean? We can get them man that are fighting and drawing big checks in. And I think the zone, or man start call it dead zone, they try to take liberties. The zone need to do something to capture the imagination of the British public to get subscribers in, right? Because
Okay. Yeah.
right, they're starting with this new platform, right? They're starting with this new pay-per-view platform, right? Nobody's not pulling up Eddie Hearn when he said that, oh, pay-per-view is dead and this is going to be app subscription and da-da-da. Now the whole thing has changed, right? Now, no, they need something. And you have to think a fight between Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, and Conor's middle name is actually Nigel as well, right? That remember when Eubank and Ben first fought November of 1990 for Ben's WBO title, the fathers, when they fought, they had 17 million people tuning on a Sunday night.
Hold on,
Right?
Spence. Matt Copen, you're blocked. See you later. Jog on.
Right.
Carry on, mate.
So I think now their names still transcend, and it being promoted correctly. I think this fight I think the zone are looking at this fight for it to be the savior for the British pay-per-view, right? Because they lost the AJ fight, right? And I know for a fact that Sky bidded less than what the zone went bidded. So when Eddie Hearn's talking about, oh no, they were outbidded and we gave the fight to the Saudis and they went with the more money. Don't be silly. We're talking about Saudi. Saudi money can't do nothing, right? Saudi went for what they thought in their eyes was the biggest platform for them to go on. The biggest platform that's going to give them the most eyeballs. So what the zone are doing now, the zone are saying, well, what can we do to build this thing here? And we've seen this before. When Eubank was dilly-dallying 5 years ago, when Eubank was dilly-dallying about fighting Golovkin, Eddie Hearn threw his welterweight in Kell Brook who was an IBF champion, in to fight Golovkin, right? So he does these kind of things. No, it's nothing new for Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? Because he's not taking the punches. But on this here now, he's saying, well, then what's going to generate the most money? Now, you already saw Eubank Jr. call out Kell Brook to say, listen, Kell, you're talking about that you got 5 million for this fight. That money's soon going to run out. You're going to have to come and do right. So Eubank is looking for a fight. But Eubank is being smart because he said, I'm looking for a fight, but I want all the intangibles to be on my side, all the favors to be on my side. So him looking at a smaller man like Conor Benn, yeah, Conor can dig. Connor's learning how to box now as well. All right, and one thing I have to give both men, they both live it. But now they're looking, the zone promoters are trying to say, listen, we need to bust our channel. Now, what is going to bust our channel in the UK where you ain't got, what top fighters are there right now to say you're going to go bust this thing? Or which more are we going to get a crossover? And this would be a crossover fight because old grannies still remember Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. You know what I mean? The boxing community in that, they still remember. You go in any black cab, you go talk, oh, but it's not like the old days with Ben and Eubank or what. Right. So all of these kind of things, it's that which could create some form of magic to say, bring it on so we can now see something of a nostalgia. And it's a nostalgia fight. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a nostalgia fight. And look, check this one out. If Conor Benn loses, he's going to say, well, it was at catch weight. And you know what? I worked my weight division. I lost to a man that's bigger than me. If Eubank loses, he's done.
Are we gonna see? The dads in the corner?
No, I've heard Tony, big up yourself. I know from the build up, it's going to be heavily involved that the dads in this. Through my sources, that's what I hear. The dads are heavily involved in this. heavily involved in this.
So what you're saying basically is that this is a fight to rival the AJ fight, obviously because the fight is on Sky. So he's lost that fight. So it's a fight that will help the zone generate numbers for the channel.
Yeah, because Tony said it's still, as much as we say it's crazy, people, we like to go back to the analogs of history, and not more so than two prominent men. They're still prominent today. Benn and Eubank, they're prominent. Benn and Eubank combined is a brand. Them two together, that's a brand. You know what I mean? That's a real battle. That's like the Pepsi Coca-Cola war. That is those two, what those two men brought in British boxing and back in the 90s, and now let's see what's going to happen now. And that's why I think it's that is what they need. The zone need that fight more than anything. The zone need that fight.
We have Matt. What Matt's that? Matt Christie?
Is it? I don't know.
There's a Matt online. Gary, you need to notify me about what Matt is online. Or is it Gatecrasher? Gatecrasher production. Spencer is here to talk about the film. Oh, Spence.
Oh, yes.
You see what I'm saying? Matt, he's got you on the show. He didn't even know you was coming. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just get this right. Oh no, wait. Let me get this right. Because I got the notification as well. There is a new film coming out. Or is it out, Matt? You'll have to let me know. Called Prizefighter. This film features the one and only Russell Crowe, Jodie May, Martin Costas, Ray Winston, and Matt Hawkins. It's called The Prizefighter. Matt was very instrumental in this. I think he actually tell us what your role is in this epic movie that's about to come out, Matt.
Thanks, man. It's coming out next Friday, 22nd on Amazon. And God, I wear too many hats in this film. I play the lead role. I'm the writer, producer on the project, and it's taken me best part of 10 years to get off the ground. So it's been a bit of a journey.
And tell us a bit about, without spilling the beans, I know you don't want to give us no spoilers. Basically, can you just give us a little a rundown on what the film is about?
Yeah, sure. So it's a film about the birth of boxing, which is why it's sort of, the popularity and the hype is building up on the boxing side. So it's a story about the birth of boxing. A boxer called Jem Belcher in the late 1700s, who basically he kind of coined the jab. So you're going from long reach to short reach. He was very instrumental in that process, and he was just sort of way ahead of his time. He had a kind of Muhammad Ali-esque about him, where he spoke differently, dressed differently, and just used the scientific approach to boxing rather than just being big and using brute strength that most of the guys adopted back then. So it's there's a heartfelt story to it as well, where there's a nice sort of family unit and connection, and he has a very rags to riches kind of story. The pitch is very simple. It's Jem Belcher he was the youngest ever champion at 19. Which I think still holds up to today. Actually, I think he would still go down as the youngest champion. He was blind at 22 and dead by the time he was 30. So, it hooked me straight away from hearing about this guy. And not many people knew anything about him. He's kind of unknown to the boxing world because I don't know. He's just kind of a sort of forgotten hero of the time that that not many people know too much about. So,
I see that there's am I right in saying it's set in Bristol in England, and that was part of where boxing actually started?
Yeah. So it started focused in Bristol. The story then moves to London when he becomes champion, and he comes from basically the father of tactical fighting. His grandfather was Jack Slack, and Jack Slack's grandfather was James Figg, who is kind of predominantly known as the first tactical fighting, boxer of the time. So, and there's lots of other people around like Daniel Mendoza and Tom Molyneux and Bill Richmond. There's loads of sort of more famous pugilists at the time, but Jem's story just hooked me, man. You know, youngest ever champion, and he just went through this sort of huge, you know, ups and downs, and like I said, dead by the time he was 30 was just crazy. So it just drew me in immediately to the story.
Spence?
I don't think, you see, like, Matt's come on and he's just playing down the whole thing. You know what I mean? He's just kind of winding up. Like, he's coming in with some little dead chat, like, oh, you know, yeah. Right, seriously. Do you know, like, this Matt wrote this movie, Tony, yeah? Right? He plugged it to Russell Crowe, you know? Russell Crowe from Gladiators, right? I don't know why this man's come and put on his humble hat. Come on, the big fighters, right? The big Tundi and Jai Spencer Ferrell and try to play down. Man, I don't strangle you when I see you, Matt. Like, come on here with like, oh, and it was like embryonic stage of boxing, and they did that. Matt, no, I don't.
Sorry, because it's actually about the birth of boxing, and a lot of people don't actually know how boxing started.
Yeah. Right, number one, that's number one. But number two, he's playing it down who his father is. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is how me and Matt knew each other, because I paid a tribute to for his dad when they were trying to erect a monument for him, right? And I got approached. This is when I was at Sky, and I was like, okay, then cool. I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? I said my piece, and then from then he said, I heard what you said about my father. Da, da, da. Now, I don't think you understand. Like David Pearce, if David Pearce was around today,
can you tell? Because many people, you know, although people watch our show, not many people know who David Pearce is. So, can you explain who David Pearce is?
David Pearce was former British heavyweight champion. David Pearce was a big heavyweight, right? Burt McCarthy, who owned OTV, remember OTV adverts, yeah? Remember OTV is on the TVs. I don't used to have a TV from them, 20. But they're Nigerian, man, you get their telly from them. You know, you get their cheap TV from OTV. Right? Right? So he was managed by Burt McCarthy. Burt McCarthy was a multi-millionaire, right? Moved him in the right position. Like he went on a decent record as well. He went on. They dropped down to cruiserweight when they brought in the cruiserweight division, right? In 1980. And like in 1983, 1984, he was ranked number one contender for the WBC title. So David Pearce could really fight. You know what I mean? Good guy, and he passed away. Was it cancer that your dad died of?
No, it was. I think it was sudden death syndrome. So I mean, I'm finding out more about my dad on this film than I did growing up. It's crazy, because of the link with the boxing world. But yeah, it was like a sudden death syndrome, which came from the injuries that he suffered during the boxing. So I think it was all related.
What can I ask? Where did the motivation come for this film? Like, I mean, what happens? Do you just go to bed one night and say, you know what? Let me just think of the history of boxing and how it's.
No, do you know what? I'd like Spencer said. I'm just warming you up. I'm giving you the nice stuff first, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep now. No, it's Do you know what? It's a bit of a crazy story, because I was working on a film set and someone recognized me and thought I was my dad, basically, which, he's not alive. So I'm obviously not him, but we do look the spitting image. I've sent Spencer these recreation pictures that we've done now, and we look like twins, like we look, exactly the same. And this guy was a fan of my dad in the 80s and read this article on him in this newspaper and was telling me all about it. And then next to this article in the newspaper was this little slide on Jem Belcher. And Jem Belcher was this bare knuckle boxer, and it was talking about how he changed the sport and was alive during this golden age of boxing, when it was slightly moving out of pugilistic bare knuckle fighting into boxing and rules and gloves. So that happened full circle. That happened like 10 11 years ago on a Russell Crowe film, which is bonkers. And then I had a tiny part in the film. And then from that point, I just became obsessed with this guy's story. And you know what? It's a bit of a weird scenario, because things started happening. I didn't actually write. I started writing the story and sort of became hooked on who this guy was. but I didn't sort of say, right, okay, I'm going to play the lead role in this film, because first of all, you know, I was a relatively unknown actor at the time, and I knew that someone had to, you know, be able to box and be able to, you know, transition this role, because, as you said, there's not been a boxing film set this far back. So for someone to step in and show how boxing began, it's a kind of it's a bit of a challenging feat. And then these weird things started happening, which is going to blow your mind. So the first thing is, his mum's name is Mary. My mum's name is Mary, Jem, which I found out. A couple of weeks later, I found out that he died on the 30th of July, which is my birthday.
Wow.
A couple of weeks later, then I was doing all the studies on his fight with Henry Pierce, which is at the end of the film. Henry Pierce is originally from Bristol, and it's exactly the same spelling and surname as my dad, which you then think, okay, that's a bit weird. And then he was a similar height to me, similar weight, similar size, which was a bit unknown at the time. So I just had this, like, I just became really obsessed. And I just went, do you know what? I'm going to get down the gym, Tony Borg's gym in St. Joe's, where Lee Salby trains, and a couple of the other, you know, sort of up and coming prominent fighters. And I just started training, man. I started training in boxing. My mum was laughing she was shouting at me because I was coming home and just bruised up and broken nose and ribs and everything. So I was just getting smashed to bits by, like, all these, you know, professional fighters who are like, you know, world level, or, you know, 5-0 or 10-0. And I just loved it, man. I got the bug for it. So I started becoming more involved in boxing because of what happened to my dad. I didn't grow up kind of going, right, boxing's the angle I need to go to. I moved out and went to and lived in London, and, you know, did the acting and that kind of thing. So to find that love in boxing, and then essentially through my dad at this late stage, was kind of it was kind of remarkable. And do you know what? Boxing's the only thing that saved me from this film. Like Spencer said, like, I'm kind of downplaying it a bit, because it was, you know, it was a really horrific challenge, the most challenging thing I've ever been through in my life. Like, I've been through everything: anxiety, panic attacks, like, you know, just money coming in, money dropping. The film got collapsed like 4 or 5 times. You know, took me a year to get Russell Crowe. He said no 3 times before he said yes. So, like, just so many different things happened. And obviously I'm fighting for me playing the lead role as well. So, which is, you know, kind of something like this hasn't really happened since, like, you know, Rocky. It's just, it's a bit of a weird scenario. We just, you know, in the industry, you don't really get people that come from relatively, you know, the sort of background that I have, just being jumped into a lead role of a film which has Russell Crowe and Ray Winston starring in it. So I just had all these fights. But you know what? Boxing saved me, man. Like, it really did. And I went to Mexico and sparred. I just got the bug for it, and I'm absolutely in love with it now. I'm trying to convince my family to let me have a fight, because everyone's saying I should have a fight. Because look, I just eventually became relatively quite good, and I adopted a similar stance to my dad. I'm a sort of come forward fighter, so it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's been an absolute roller coaster of a ride.
So basically, you're the star in your own movie. To cut a long story short, you are the star in your own movie, and there are stars in the movie. That's the surreal thing about it, you know, to have someone like Russell Crowe and Ray Winston. And
people keep saying to me, how did I do it? How did I become that?
Well,
you know,
I'll tell you how you done it, sir. It was meant to be. It was meant to be, and the similarities which you've just explained to us on the show not only shows me, Spencer, and everyone, the 353 people live on this show, it shows us that thing, what I say, dream it, believe it, become it. That thing what just make, you know, it's an unseen force and power that really just puts things together. And we just work, we end up walking in a world whereby we don't realize, you know, someone born on the same day as us. And it's just an incredible story. And I'll take my hat off to you, Matt, for taking this role up. I wish you nothing but success in this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, the director, let's say that again, the director of the up-and-coming movie called Prizefighter, featuring starring Russell Crowe, Ray Winston, and the man himself, the director, the team man, everything, brother. He's at everything. He's just the be all and end all of this.
You know, Julius is in the movie as well.
Julius as well.
Julius Francis in the movie.
We know no one won't be running up on you then, Matt.
You know what? I did the scene I did with Julius. I remember we did the scene together, and he was catching me in my arm, and I said, "No, come on, give me a proper hit. I'm good. I've been in the ring now." And he said, "All right, okay, cool. I can let go." I said, "Yeah." And he caught me on my arm. Man, you see it in the film. I just go flying across the ring. He's a very good friend, Julius, and he was brilliant. He was in the short film we did in 2016, and he was just so sort of I was so blessed to have him back, and he was blessed. And we've got Joe Egan in the film as well. And I really wanted to kind of bring some real life boxers. And the end fight scene is with the end fight scene that I have is with the next boxer as well. And it's a proper fight, man. Like, it's some of what you're going to see is like some of the best fight sequences you've seen, especially boxing sequences you've seen in the film. It was just real. We just made it real. You know?
How did you get Ray Winston in that movie? Because Ray Winston he's a legend. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember when Tundi used to watch Scum regular. Bad boy film. Scum.
It's so bad, yeah.
Where's your tool?
yeah.
Who's your daddy? Yeah. He was great, Ray. I mean, look, Ray, I worked to death on the script, guys, and like I probably did. I mean, I'm probably even underestimating this. I probably did 300 drafts of the script. And I just.
A question that is just running from. I'm very interested. I know, people have certain amount of hours they work. What type of hours was you putting into this a day or a night? Should I say?
Every single day. Every single day.
For how long? Give me a number. Because you know what? I always ask famous people how much hours, and they always try to shuffle around the question as if if you give me the answer, I'm gonna do more. So I need to know what's going on.
Yeah. Do you know what? I went through like different stages, right? So, and this is 10 years. Like I'm not I've worked on this project every single day for 10 years. And it would be a stage of like, okay, wake up. I mean, during the writing stage, it was pretty horrible. I had some like proper dark stages because I would wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning. With writing, most people just have like a really like couple of hours of a window because your brain just kind of stops being creative, right? It's like kind of anything else. So I'd wake up, I'd do a couple of hours of writing. Then I'd go to the gym. Then I'd do the emails and the producing side and out to cast and printing decks and sending out to every sales agent and distributor I could here, LA, everywhere, just to kind of keep everyone, I just annoyed the hell out of people. Honestly, I just didn't give up. I annoyed everyone you can imagine. And then I would do another session at night, which was basically just weights in the gym. And then I would do writing after that. And I'd write till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And that was horrible because, I was in a flat in Camden and it was just dark, man. It was dark. And when I wanted to write and, when your brain is fried at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Matt, what do you mean dark? You want to pay your electric bill?
Mate. No, it's one of the stories that I haven't really told was it was so funny. I was broke as hell during trying to get Russell Crowe, and his manager didn't have WhatsApp, and I run up a £1,200 phone bill to Australia over a course of a stupid period because he wanted to talk and he wanted to go through. So I talked to him on the phone for an hour. And I remember thinking in pre-production, because it died in pre-production, basically he couldn't, Russell, after sort of something that happened personally with him and he couldn't travel. So he said no. And I was like, I was looking at this, £1,200 phone bill that I had from calling Australia. Like my mates were laughing their head off because I was like, in like a little crappy rental car and stuff. So it's been one of those ones. And it's like, I just put myself, you know what? It's like, it's not trying to sound smart, but you mentioned the work thing. I put myself in a situation where I worked so, flipping hard that all the information that anyone wanted on this film was in my brain.
So can we have so after that exegesis that you just gave us, can we have a number in 24 hours? Was you working 48 hours, 15, 20 hours, 32 hours? Give me a ball figure.
I was probably working 18, 19 hours a day. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I'm on it. Because
Right.
I'm trying to be like you, Matt.
But you know, I went through like this project has seen I've went through like 3 relationships. It's been like, you know, and I've done other projects in the meantime as well. And it's just, I just made sure, you know, you hear these stories about Rocky and how Sylvester Stallone did it, and he just said, you know, I'm playing the lead and that's it. And this was a very different kettle of fish because we had, you know, Russell Crowe and Ray Winston. We had stars in the movie, and the budget is, you know, the budget was a slightly higher film in that sense. So,
Sorry,
I mean,
Matt, how much did you raise for the movie?
the budget was just over $15 million.
Wow.
Okay.
Which is not a lot. It's not a lot for
It's
you know.
It's not. That's what I know. It's not. But that's why I got to give you props because. Yeah, I mean, Russell Crowe, he ain't no joke. When Russell Crowe comes on the thing, Russell Crowe, I mean, he's won the Academy Award.
He hasn't done dramas for this yet. Like, he hasn't done like drama films for less than, you know, $20 million. So it's like, you know, to do a period drama, boxing, action set in that time period is a bit crazy.
A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, I saw a comment here from Christopher Anthony said, how's my man making a film for 10 years with no peas? Like, he's like, no money. Like, you know, what's the struggle being? Because obviously that 15 million weren't coming from your pocket. So,
well, here we go. You want to dive into that? Okay. So first of all, I was staying in a property management company in London, which meant I could stay in central London. No one knows this. It meant I could stay in central London. I don't know if you've heard of those property management companies, but basically you can stay in like places that are empty and it's all like legal. It's all legit. It's just a property management company where, you know, they manage these companies, and you stay in like really nice places. You stay in great flats. You stay in, but you can also stay in, you know, warehouses and you know, care homes and everything. So I was lucky enough to get a flat in Camden on a council estate, and rent was so cheap, man. And I didn't do anything else. I didn't drink. I don't smoke. I didn't go out. I gave up every sacrifice. Every sacrifice. There was no like, so every single bit of money that I did earn just went straight back into this. And I also made a couple of projects in between as well. So I was doing like stuff with my company. I was just trying to, you know, on the weekend I would do actors show reels or whatever it may be. So yeah, man, it's not been, you know, it's definitely not been easy. And that was the only way I could live in London. I lived in London for like 7 years like that, where I was in these property management companies, and I got so well in the companies that they started putting me in like really nice places, but it was super cheap. I was paying like £400 or £500 a month to live in Camden.
Wow.
Which you're not going to get. And it was bills included as well. So
that's good.
Well, Matt, that is excellent. Prizefighter is out next week on this week Friday on the 22nd of July on Prime. What's the reason why people should watch this movie?
Okay. Reason why people should watch this film. I thought you were going to say more. You stopped then. I thought you had more to say. Well, look, it's any boxing fan is going to be excited by it because it shows the birth of the sport and how it all started, where it all began. The fight scenes in it are really great. There's a really heartfelt story to it as well, and it's about, you know, someone's inner demons. He's not doing it for, you know, for anyone else. It's kind of like there's a bit of psychological inner demons, how he's inherited this aspect from his grandfather. So it's a really nice character-driven, heartfelt story about the birth of boxing set in a time period that, you know.
And Ray Winston plays the grandfather, right?
No, so Ray Winston plays my trainer. He plays the trainer. Russell Crowe plays the grandfather, and they play real life ex-boxers as well. So it's a true story as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to have Matt join us, the director of the upcoming movie Prizefighter, out this Friday, if I'm not mistaken, 22nd of July.
Yep. Also, wait 1 second. When's the special screening? Me and Tundi's coming to the special screening, Matt.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Screening on Wednesday. So me and Tundi putting on our glad rags to go to the special. If you're available, look at Tundi back. He's thinking about it, but I don't be
No, you know why? Because I think I'm going to another premiere. Hold on, what's Wednesday? The 20th.
20th, yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's a. Oh, anyway. Yeah, I think I'll be there. I'm getting invited to these
You're
premieres.
welcome to come. Julius will be there and a couple of other boxers as well. I think Derek Chisora's coming as well, actually.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you, Matt. It's been a pleasure having you on and telling us a little bit about yourself, the story, you know, the film that's about to come out, and basically just showing everyone that, you know, nothing's laid out for you. There's the more you sacrifice, the bigger the reward. The less you sacrifice, the lesser the reward. I mean, that's just it's the same with everyone. Everyone who we've interviewed on this show has always come back because, you know, there's this misconception a lot of times where people feel that people are just handed things and gifted things and not realizing there's so much work that goes into this. And to have you on the show explaining your story is really a great thing and a great honor for us to have you this evening.
That's why I wanted to inspire people as well, because it's like, you know, I definitely couldn't go through this experience again. And there's probably other people out there now like me who are, whether they're boxers or actors or whoever, they're trying to get something off the ground. So I really wanted to, you know, inspire others, because I just never gave up. Even when it was like, no, or you've lost this, or you've got no money, or this or that. It's just like, right, that just doesn't exist. I'm just forward.
Congratulations. Excellent. That's driven me. More. More. Come on. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure and honor to have the son of the former British champion, David Pearce, son, Matt. Let's go. Dream it, believe it, becoming Prizefighter this Friday. Go and watch it. It's going to be great, and hopefully you'll see us at the premiere. You'll see Spencer, definitely.
Matt, you're a legend, man. Take care. God bless.
I really appreciate it, guys. Have a good evening, yeah?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Big up Miss Ringside. How can I go to the screening? You got to be invited, love. Miss Ringside, you better take my ticket. Roll up there with Spencer.
Yeah, that's no problem, man.
Roll up there with Spencer.
You can have that. Just DM me on Instagram. You can have the ticket. No problem.
Let me just check because when you said Wednesday, I'm sure I'm going to hold on. Let me look at this thing here. The premiere of the Bullet Train in London, Wednesday, the 20th of July. Brad Pitt is gonna be there. So, bruv, I'm rolling with Brad Pitt on Wednesday. You can roll with Russell Crowe. I'm rolling with Brad Pitt on Wednesday. So, but you know, I'm gonna get the full details and check it out. But again, he's interrupted our thing. But you know what? It was worth it because I'm always pressing these top guys. You know, I'm always pressing these top guys. Tell me how many hours you're working. I want to know, fam. It's like they don't want to let off the information. They're always, one time I went to a doctor and they're always skirting around the number. Just give me the number. If it's 48 hours you're working with 2 hours rest, fam, I'm doing it. There's no complaints. And that's what it's about. You know, you're never jealous or envious of someone. I'm not asking them for nothing. Just show me the blueprint, and I work hard because you're not getting nothing if you don't work for it. It's simple as that.
Listen. Let me tell you this now. When you're around people and all the rest of it, like, just tell me how you did what you did, right? Hey. I'm not asking for nothing else. I'm not asking for no handouts. I'm not asking. That's why. You know what I mean? And you see, like on certain things, like we always turn around and say, like, I refuse to ask. I don't need to ask you anything. No.
No, sir.
If you don't ask, the answer always gonna be no. So straight standard, you better go up. Straight.
I want to know. Anyway, Spence, we gotta get back on this thing because man, rinse out the time. Man, rinse out the hours.
You know what? I had to you know what? Matt's he's a good guy. Remember, he lost his dad. He was about 5 years old when he lost his old man as well. So Mina's been rapping for a hot minute. But for him to have gone out and made that movie, that was a big thing. And he asked, Spence, can I come on the show? And you've seen him, like, if you go on his Instagram, he's with Tyson Fury the other day promoting the movie. He's with loads of people where he's bigging up the thing. And he said, "Dear Spence, let me try and get Russell Crowe and Ray Winston on." I said, "Brother, forget about that. You come on the team." Yeah, I mean, even though Russell Crowe and Ray Winston be big, but I'm saying, like, no, you wrote the thing, you directed it, you were the one that went on the graph for all of that. So I gotta give Matt like massive props Massive prop.
And he plays the lead role.
Yeah, and go look on the trailer. Go look on the trailer right now on YouTube. The trailer looks decent. It looks like a decent watch. And plus, you got legends in it.
The trailer's hard, and you know, the trailer's hard, and that's great. You know, great that we can have the director of the film. The man's playing the lead role in his own film.
These kids are bringing liberty.
Look at that. That's 9 o'clock. But anyway, you know what? We have to touch half an hour because we ain't really gone into depth about this fighter, and we need to go into depth. Let's get straight back to the Conor Benn, Chris Eubank situation. Spence, I heard your long talk, but you still never gave me the winner.
No, because I'm not. You know why? Because right now, I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you.
Sure, Habib said Eubanks claps him.
Right?
Conor Benn sparks Chris Eubanks. Another comment. You know what?
I'm gonna be real with you. You know, I don't trust Eubank anymore.
Bruv, let me tell you something.
That's
Conor
it.
Benn is on smoke. Conor Benn is not a joke. From the time that you come into the country, the boy showed me bare respect. Came into the Peacock with Justin, obviously his cousin and that. And he knows who he is. And I think that could be a key thing in this fight. Conor Benn knows who he is. You know when a man's skirting around their identity, 1 minute they want to be P. Diddy, next minute they want to be Mike Tyson, next minute you want to be Ric Flair. Fam, just be who you are, bro.
Wow.
And Conor Benn is straight up gangster. He's coming to rock you. So he ain't gonna be no, shimmying around the place and shouting and all that nonsense. He's coming to fight. And that's what I like about Conor. In fact, I love that about Conor Benn. Because even when he talks, even when Conor Benn talks, it sounds like he wants to fight you.
Bro, when Conor talks, yeah, he sounds like his dad now. Before he never used to sound like his dad. Now, the real Ben madness is start coming into him.
Bro, and Barry Cobbs, I put the wrong comment. Barry Cobbs says, Ben, it ain't not, bro. Mike Tyson was small. I keep telling these man, boxing ain't nothing to do with how tall you are. It ain't, or how big. It's about skills. Roy Jones, you see Roy Jones come from middle and beat a heavyweight.
Yep.
You see that with your own eyes. You see Mike Tyson, small in stature, knocking out man 6'5". And it's just about, under that number, there are some advantages going into the fight which will favor Conor Benn, which is the fact that Eubanks is now going to have to make a weight that he's never made before at the latter stage of his career, because even though he's very fresh, Eubanks, he hasn't been in no, damaging fights, I would say. Not that he hasn't been in tough fights, but he hasn't been in any damaging fights. But he's a senior citizen in this fight. And Conor is young, hungry, and can have a tear-up, improving all the time. I'm not too sure if there has been that much improvement in Eubanks.
Since going with Roy Jones.
With Roy Jones. But he's winning, and you can never discredit a winner. He's a winner.
All right,
Listen,
I'm not discrediting. This. I'm just looking at the intangibles. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing God's advocate up in here, right?
Yes.
All right, check this one out. Conor Benn, the smaller guy, right? But spars regularly with big men. He spars regularly with Craig Richards, John Ryder. He spars with these big guys, these big, heavy-handed guys, right? Eubank, for all what he's bringing, is not a concussive puncher. He's not a concussive. Eubank is not.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. You see when people say that, Spence, I'm in the gym, innit? And I'm like, what man saying man ain't a concussive puncher? I'm like, bro, I don't see no one running to Chris Eubank Jr., running into his face to take punches. I don't.
No, because he's a volume puncher, Ton.
Yeah, but even if he's not a volume puncher, I don't I don't actually agree with that. I don't. He's had some. I'm gonna look at his record. I
Yeah,
don't wanna,
wait there, Ton. I'm still waiting to look at Eubank of anyone of note ain't knocked out.
Chris Eubank Jr. Go on, Spence.
Go on. Who? Go through his record right now and tell me anyone of note that Chris Eubank Jr. is knocked out. And that's not me dissing him, because when he first come out, I was his biggest cheerleader, right? So name me a man, go through his record, his resume, and tell me anyone of note that he is knocked out. I'll wait.
I'm going for his record.
You know what I mean?
Well, but if you're going from, if you're going on that space,
Thomas, wait there. Thomas Eugene ain't.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say that as well. If it's good enough for Canelo, it's good enough for Eubanks.
Wait there. Wait a minute. That's that super middleweight, you know?
Huh?
That's that super middleweight.
Okay, listen. Again. Sometimes you know at the top level, people don't really get knocked out.
Yeah, I know that.
That's a fact. But he's beaten James DeGale. That's a good. He's beaten Liam Williams. These are good resumes.
Let me tell you this, yeah.
There's always an excuse.
I hear that. I'm not making no excuses. Right. Listen, let's call it as it is, yeah.
Arthur Abraham is a good result.
No, it's an excellent result.
Yeah.
Excellent result.
So you don't
Arthur Abraham was older than my granny, and she's been dead 20 years.
But this is what I'm trying to say.
I want to realize that.
Spence, you actually can't win. You actually can't win.
You can win.
Okay.
You can win. I'm saying listen, I remember when he was going up, what was that? That was 2019 when he beat James DeGale, yeah?
Yes.
I was forgetting that James DeGale just lost to that little Billy man, then come back and beat the Billy man.
Yes.
Truex is a Billy. Let's call it as it is. Truex is a living Billy man, right? So everything, as my brother from another mother always keeps on telling me from day dot, everything is about timing. That fight was about timing. And that's that. And that's not me having a go at Eubank. What I'm saying is this. Remember, Tundi, Eubank has been a pro for a decade now, you know?
Mm.
That's crazy, you know?
Mm.
He's been a pro for a decade.
Okay. And your point?
So, my point is, he should have moved better. He should have been in legit world title fights way earlier.
Mm.
And you haven't. Because, like, I was going back to what I was saying. You know what I mean? Everyone's saying, like, do the Nigel Benn Eubank impression, right? I'm saying, if he was meant to do what he was meant to go and do, I believe that he would have done it already. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. I believe that he's still a good fighter. But if he was going to go do what he's meant to go and do, he would have done it already.
But do you think that it's not that he couldn't have done it? Wouldn't you say that it was more of a commercial career, getting that money in the bank first before taking on the challenges? Hence why he's now fighting.
Because he took on the challenges early on. Early on, he went in there with Billy Joe Swan.
Okay.
Right? So, no, I'm not agreeing with that at all. Because
didn't he get paid for that?
Of course he got paid for it. But so you can't say it's not about on the commercial thing. No, because his name was his name off of the back of his dad. He got a look in off of the back of his dad, and he was putting in performances, putting in that work when he was up and coming. He was putting in that work on opponents, right? Yeah. Then as soon as it was meant to go world class, it stalled a lot. I'm not saying he ain't good, you know, because the U has got an engine on him. He lets his hands go.
So are you saying that Eubanks doesn't have the ability to stop Conor Benn?
No, what I'm saying is that he's not. I'm saying the reason why I believe that Conor has taken it, or his team have taken this, like his trainer have taken this fight, because I think they're looking at Eubank is not a concussive puncher. Eubank has boxed as high as super middleweight. Even though I said, he still can make middleweight. The fights at, I think it's 157. The fight's gonna be made at, yeah. So that's 11-3. The fight's made at, right? Eubank has to get down to that weight. And we also know, the older you get, the harder it is to cut off that weight. And you're going to be at a weight that you have never boxed at.
Well, I don't really agree with that again. Because Bernard Hopkins really killed that myth because he
No,
was a middleweight.
Tundi, Bernard
Joe
Hopkins.
Kanzaki,
No.
Spence. Joe Kanzaki was a super middle for years, and we all know how hard it was for Joe Kanzaki to make.
Joe Kanzaki is hard. No, Bernard Hopkins would, by his own admissions, would turn around and say, "Do you know what I used to do to get down to middleweight?
Yes.
Or how I had to live, or what kind of monk regime that I was on." Yeah, I mean, I could tell you a story. Like he was, because he came over here with Don King. He came over here, and we went. I'll tell you who was there. Danny Williams was there when we went for lunch. And Bernard Hopkins ordered some chicken. He was peeling off the skin off the chicken just to eat the chicken. He weren't in no training, weren't training for no fight, but that's it. He had to live regimental. Bernard Hopkins is a different man. You know what I mean? So he said,
That's some jolting. I should have been there. I would have taken the skin and eat it myself.
Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Never go to Nando's with Tundi. I remember I had to take Tundi and his young fighter regular in the evening after I'd done doing my clients at the Real Fight Club. We'd go down to Stratford to eat Nando's, right? I'd order the full chicken. There's 3 of us, yeah? The full chicken. So you're gonna get 4 pieces. There's 3 of us, yeah. And Tundi bought the food job, but Tundi always take the extra piece, you know, and that's bare salt on the chicken.
And lick off the bone, crunch up the bone, fam. I ain't leaving
Tundi turn the bone into powder.
Come on, the nicest bit of the chicken is the skin. Tell him again.
Right.
Come on. Anyway, but Eubank is very strong himself. He is a strong you. I don't know about that punching power thing, but he's a strong you. Conor Benn is a strong you. I'm looking at Eubank's career. He's been as low as 158.5, albeit a few years back. But he has been as low as that. That was bloody, 8 years ago, he made 158.5. So you're right. Maybe a bit of a challenge for him to do that. You know, I guess Conor is going to be more naturally stronger. But being strong would necessarily win fights. Otherwise, Floyd Mayweather would not have remained unbeaten. Floyd Mayweather would not have gone into the ring with guys like Marcus Maidana, Canelo Alvarez, guys that were big. Even Miguel Cotto was a strong human being.
Cotto, I remember Cotto bust up Floyd's nose.
Yeah,
was a strong man, you know.
Strong. But when I saw him in NGM Grand and I see him, he looked like a tank. Miguel Cotto, a tank, massive. And so these guys, so it's not always the way. The skill factor may be the difficult part or the difficult piece of the puzzle which Conor Benn has to overcome.
Tai Chi Tube says Eubank ain't Floyd Mayweather.
Eubank ain't. No, I don't think anyone said that he was Floyd Mayweather, apart from his dad.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah.
What's up the thing?
I ain't never said. Who's this phone to me? I don't know that. Yeah, I ain't never said that he's no Floyd Mayweather. I know he's a confident young man. He believes in his skills, and he obviously lives the life. Because I've never seen him out of shape at any time.
Never.
I've never seen him out of shape at any time, and he lives the life. He's always in the gym. He trains hard. He knows what it takes, and that's what I guess. Even though the fight hasn't been announced yet. That's what makes this fight all the more intriguing. Ezekiel the Mac. This is exactly what I'm saying. This is because this is energy. This might be just a little move, a little smart move that man just getting energy of this thing. We're talking about the fight, and the fight ain't because, bruv. I'm gonna check Eubank's Twitter. Cause I don't hear no one talking about it. I don't hear the fighters talking about this.
No, I see Ben talking about it. Saying big announcement between made soon, guys. Yeah. So yeah, you know what I mean. We're gonna see. Hey, what? Ezekiel the Mac, big up because I love your profile picture of the great man Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? Dan, what are you looking for now?
So what then? Family's fight, my family. Well, I might have to come to this, make sure I get some tickets tuned in. Shout soon, okay? One.
Guys, man, guys. Listen to that mash it. Let me mute this and listen to this message again. Go. Carry on, Spence.
Right. So like that's what I'm saying. When we're looking like, oh well, is it? I'm hearing that the fight's been done. When we're saying, oh, but it was a journalist that said that. No, I've heard from man in each man's camp to say that the fight is done. So I mean, we'll see what's going to happen now. I'm looking forward if the fight does happen, and I still think it's a liberty, but it's the way of the world now. The way of the world now is that we are going to give energy to Crash TV. And like I said, RuPaul and Frankie, the RuPaul and his brother Frankie Paul, they might have done, they've made boxing.
It's the same RuPaul. It's not RuPaul, it's Jake Paul.
No, RuPaul and Frankie Paul, right? Them man have made boxing into this Crash TV kind of thing, right? Yeah. So because of that, we want intrigue that is not just, it's about the influence of these social media platforms, it's about the influence of all of these kind of things. I think that's what people are going to tune into.
Tell me something. Have Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. ever sparred?
No, I don't believe that's ever happened.
Mm.
Because remember one time Eubank said something about Conor, and he said Eubank dad said this is Nigel should be there. Nigel shouldn't give his son to these men. Nigel should be instrumental in what his son's doing. And then he went on one. And then like little Ben got vexed over it. Like, now you're talking about my family. You're talking about family. Keep my family out your mouth. He went mad. So like, no, I'm not. What I'm saying is like, you at the chest back and look. No, I'm not saying it. Like, what I'm saying to you, like, mine weren't having it at all. So
I told you, when Conor talks, he talks like he's gonna fight you straight away.
Everybody he wants to. Dave Cole kicked off on Eubank Sr. No, he never. I remember that because it was when Eubank Jr. was fighting one of Dave Caldwell's fighters. So Eubank Sr. tried to diss the accomplishments of Dave Caldwell as a professional boxer, which I believe was low. So yeah, it was one of them ones there. So, and Eubank does those things.
Conor Benn gassed everyone earlier today. You see, this is why I don't watch nobody's things unless it's just by chance. Conor Benn gassed everyone earlier today, says 1 hour to the big announcement, only to then launch his NFTs. Bare hate in the comments on his post, fam. So I'm saying it's the tricking, man. And this might be another Floyd thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't actually want to do the show because I need to hear it. I want to hear it. Totally. I want to hear that the fight has been. And again, when the fight is actually officially announced, then we'll come back and do another show.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm just going to be real. Just for the fact of the nostalgia and what it will bring to British boxing, I would really, really, really like to see that fight. You know what I mean? Just for the simple fact that I know what that fight would bring to, you know what I mean? Because when big fights are on and it holds boxing. And I think that would be a big fight. And I think, you know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see because do you remember what was the fight just recently when Roy Jones is a G still? Remember Roy Jones pushed the referee? Did you see that too? Like the referee just got on Roy Jones like, get out of my way,
Yeah, I remember. I was watching that fight the other day. What fight was that again? You talking about the fight, yeah? When he done that?
Yeah. I think it was that Marcus who Joe Gallagher's got.
Oh, you talking about when Ben was fighting?
Yeah. When Eubank Jr. was fighting.
Eubank.
Roy got in the ring and just pushed the referee.
Okay, I don't remember that. I was talking about when Roy was fighting. There was one fight.
Now Roy used to do that regular.
Yeah, he used to do that all the time. I think he even done it in the John Ruiz fight. But anyway, Thomas Newman has a good question. He says, "Is this both guys' camps kind of swerving the elite fighters in the division, knowing that Hearn can't make PBC fights and Eubank dodging a very tricky eliminator that only hardcores know about? That is a good question.
Yep. And I'm not saying none of that. I don't think they're avoiding. Listen, the dad was the master of it. Chris Eubank Sr., yeah,
Yep. Touching it.
was the master at that. You know what I
He
mean?
had a 10-fight deal. He
With
fought
Sky.
10 bums, $1 million apiece.
Okay then, right?
Bruv.
He became a globetrotter. He traveled the whole world by doing this as well. You know what I mean? And when you speak to Eubank, when Eubank was saying like, this is a mugs game, and boxing is barbaric. So when he was saying from then, he was saying, listen, I'm not
Your impersonations is having me up this
right.
evening.
Listen, I'm not getting involved. I'm fighting some bums and I'm getting the most peace. That was Chris Eubank Sr. It's like you know what I mean? You gotta think about it. You go through Chris Eubank Sr.'s career, yeah? And this is why Nigel Benn was more endeared to the public.
Yes.
Chris Eubank. Because Nigel Benn had the war with Doug Dewey, right? In April of 1990, right?
Come on.
Nigel Benn had the war with Iron Barkley in
Yes, sir.
his WBO title. Nigel Benn had the war with Joe McLennan, right? In February of what was that? That was February of 1994. So when you look at 95, sorry. So when you look at Nigel Benn, you got to salute that man because he really did. And like Nigel Benn throughout his whole career, Nigel Benn never lost to an American. No American man could say that they beat Nigel Benn. So, you know what I mean? So there lies the difference. But with Chris Eubank, he worked this thing out for a long time. Don't think like Chris Eubank went on the thing. Eubank could fight. But Eubank, listen, I'm not doing this. This is not for me. Right. I'm gonna fight bare Billy man, and that's what he did. And certain Billy man, Eubank never even beat them. When I sit down and look back, but they just gave him the decision because they knew like if he really wanted to try, he would have won anyway. Because I know some bare Billy man that if you go look at Eubank Senior's career.
And said, I think Tundi would have stopped Pat and it could have done some numbers too. Carry on, Spence. Sorry, I had to put it up. Go ahead, Spence.
May I say, you ain't punching nothing.
Bro, that sold out the venue. That little thing sold out the venue. Me and Pat Barrett done our job, mate. We hyped up that thing and we done our job as trainers and carers of these young men, these mentors of these young men. We done our job. It was a great fight. And as I said, on that night, nobody lost. We all won.
Exactly. Nobody lost. Someone just put on there like Watson was excellent, yeah?
Yes.
I agree, but I'm going to tell you this. There was a difference. Nigel Benn, you know what I mean, was an ex-military man that was that. These liberties, brother, right? I'm saying Nigel Benn was a fan because his fighting style was exciting. So fans appreciated Nigel Benn. We also appreciated the fact that Nigel Benn was ex-military, right? So he had that British thing. So he was like proper like, yeah, I'm in the army, mate. I'm coming to have it with you. And I really do hate him. I hate him. So you see them things on Nigel Benn? We related to Nigel Benn. We related to him. And when Nigel Benn come into Dangerous and you start air, you know what I mean? You start air the Courtney Medley tune come on, boop, boop. You get hyped, right? Yeah. Nigel. Chris Eubank, we loved to hate Chris Eubank. I liked his swag. I ain't gonna lie, I was a big Eubank fan. I loved Eubank's swag. But we loved to hate him. The difference with Michael Watson was that guy who was just in the middle. You know what I mean? Right, a very articulate man, great thinker, was a very good boxer, right? But there was something about him that he never had that crossover appeal. You know what I mean? He didn't have it. So Eubank, he had the appeal because Eubank studied great men like Jack Johnson, say, right, let people hate me. That's cool. But as long as you're paying, it's good. It's energy. He understood that. Nigel Benn had people enthralled because if you knew anything about Nigel Benn, when Nigel Benn, I remember Danny Mardell, who Tundi knows, my old sponsor, God rest his soul in paradise. That man used to drop some peas and give me his big rollie to drive regular, right? And he said to me, the thing about Nigel Benn, when he was like a first year, and they were his school because they went to the same school, and when they went to go and fight other schools, Nigel Benn was a first year, you know, rolling with the fifth formers, man in the fifth year, but he was at the front going to fight. That is how hot Nigel Benn was.
Come on.
Right.
Comment from Mr. Patel, Tasif Patel. He said, Steve Bunn said that American fighters were staying away from Eubank and Benn in their prime. I
Hey,
can
shut up.
categorically say
Shut up.
yes.
Son, there were two standout American super middleweights at the time. Yeah?
James Toney, I know, was
James Toney was one of them. I got James Toney. James Toney and Roy Jones, right?
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you this, yeah? They never want nothing. Eubank and Benn never want nothing to do with Roy. Definitely not Roy Jones. They didn't want nothing to do with him because Eubank had a very, very hard fight with Malinga. Yeah? Nigel Benn fought Malinga twice, beat him the first time in a non-title fight, loses him in a title fight, right? Where he loses his WBC crown to him. Nigel Benn didn't want, and remember what Roy Jones done to Malinga? Roy Jones.
Hold on, can I put my hand up? Spence?
Done.
Let me just look for this comment. I just see some nastiness on the thing. Maybe Gary got to it before me.
He's blocked. I see the little idiot, right?
Gary got to it before me. Come on.
No,
Carry on.
listen,
Carry
listen, so I'm not putting. Listen, I don't know how old you are. Yeah. What's that? Tasif Patel. I don't know how old you are, but I grew up in that era. Yeah, and I'm telling you now, them man never wanted to. I remember the big fight that was meant to happen for Nigel Benn was because Nigel Benn after he lost to Watson, April of '89, went out and rebased himself in America, and Nigel Benn went on a very, very good run, which ended up with him fighting Doug DeWitt for the WBO championship, right? Doug DeWitt was the first man ever to win the title, right? And I'm telling you this now. There's no way on earth that Nigel Benn had nothing to do with Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn was there. Michael Nunn was an IBF champion. Michael Nunn came over to Birmingham NEC for the Eubank the Benn Eubank first fight. He came over here, right? They didn't want nothing to do with Michael Nunn. I'm telling you this now. Michael Nunn would have beaten them, man. I don't business what you're saying, right? Also, they didn't want nothing to do with James Toney. Remember when they had the kind of like the best of enemies or whatever with Jonathan Ross and James Toney said, Nigel Benn, could you I'll kick you in your mama's ass.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you like got hurt. Look, this man's speaking about my mother. He doesn't even know my mother, right? Remember? Right. So allow me on this. You're talking about on the times when I was there. This is not me reading back and saying, oh, well, this, that. No. And even on that, I studied it so much, it's like I was there. But on this here, I was witness to it. And I'm telling you now, Nigel Benn didn't want nothing to do with Roy Jones.
Come on.
Remember, let's go deal with the guy because some man saying I'm hating on Steve Bunce. And next thing, I have to big up Steve Bunce.
No, wait. Money talks. I don't business, but I
All
want
right.
Big up Jordan Wright. Thank you for the 449. Spencer's trying to out your comment with Steve Bunce chat, but money ruled the day. Anyway, he says, again, this is to you, Spencer. Prime Ben and Prime Froch. What you saying? Love both. Would be a wild fight warriors.
Yep. And I want people to realize a prime Nigel Benn wasn't at super middleweight.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Right. Okay. See? Greatness goes. The energy, boys. The energy. Right?
Yeah.
That is right. That wouldn't be the case. Prime Nigel Benn was the Nigel Benn. That was the Nigel Benn of, I would say, 88 to 90. That that Nigel Benn there worries, bro. I'm telling you. And as much as Carl Froch has got a ridiculous chin, I would have picked Nigel Benn to have dealt with Carl Froch.
Do you know something? It's funny. Something just came to my mind. I remember I was in the gym with Michael, poor Michael Bowen.
Yeah.
And I was saying about Howard Eastman is a serious middleweight. I said, who punches harder at Howard and Nigel? He said, bruv, let me tell you something. Nobody could punch harder than Nigel Benn.
Benn is the joke.
He said Nigel was a crazy puncher. So, bruv, that's coming from a man who's been in the ring with both of them. So Nigel Benn was about that smoke. And you know what? It's the confidence. And I believe that his son has that same tenacity and that same ferociousness. Obviously, he has to prove it. A lot of people saying he's been cherry-picked, but he's only been marketed in a way that you would market a marketable fighter. You know, that's what makes them different. And for this fight, if Conor, I never like to say a man is going to lose because that's not the right terminology that you give people, especially fighters, because I don't want them to start putting no bad energy on me. But, if it wasn't to go well for Conor's young, and I guess he could rebuild. You understand what I'm saying? On the other hand, if Eubanks were to come up on the opposite end of a winning decision, then what does that really? Where does Eubanks go from there, Spence?
Where does Eubank go? If Eubank loses, he's done. He's done. But he won't be done because he with the Sauerlands and they've got the Channel 5 deal. One thing, this game, as Tundi always says, is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
Eubank generates numbers, right? You saw he got that 1 million views when he on Sky. Eubank generates numbers. Conor Benn generates numbers because the Zone are paying him some mad money a fight. Because he does, and he sells out the place. And he's finding himself now. He's finding himself. He's finding his own. He's finding himself. He's not trying to be the son of Nigel Benn anymore. He's just trying to be Conor Benn now.
Yeah. That's what I like. I like that about him.
Yeah, right. So these are the things that when we're talking, these are the things that we got. There's massive intangibles in this fight. Massive intangibles. Obviously, yeah, on the roads, you'd favor Eubank to come out victorious because he's a bigger guy and all the rest of it, and you favor him to come out. But you know what? You never know. This is boxing. You
never know. It's boxing.
And
when you got a man that believes in himself, believes in his punch, but you never know. It's a good matchup if it happens. I'm gonna reiterate that again and again and again. This is all talk. Until I see this thing, I'm giving it another 7 days. I need to see the announcement of this fight. G Chains, Gary says, all of us Nigel Benn fans know his limitations. But what we love is the fact he always brought the smoke and was willing to dig deep and go to the well every time, blood. Facts.
Yeah.
You know that. And I believe Conor's got the same thing.
Trust me. Yeah.
Conor's got the same thing.
Ben would always go. It'd go to the wall. It'd go to the wall. It'd go to all the time. It'd go to the wall. That's what makes it so unique.
All right, we're moving on now. Last night was the return of Ryan Garcia, and a fight which I actually wanted to see how he performed because, Harvey Fortuna, although a smaller guy, he's only lost against decent guy. I know he had a UD against Diaz. I think he's got 2 other losses or 1 loss and 1 draw. I know he lost against that little Puerto Rican brother, that Lomachenko.
Robert Easter Jr. beat him as well.
Robert Easter Jr. beat him. Robert Easter Jr. was 20-0 at the time. I remember he was unbeaten. So I mean, that was a good victory for Ryan Garcia. I watched it early hours this morning. I watched it when I woke up this morning. And Ryan Garcia give him some clap, some ABC clap 1-2 left hook. You know what I'm saying? That's why I go to ABC lick. And it was a good performance. It was average. I mean, listen, I'm trying not to look at another person in the ring with him as opposed to looking at Fortuna, but that's very hard because he was calling out Tank so much and saying he wants that Tank fight. But I still feel he's about 2-3 fights away from giving Tank even a minute bit of competition.
Let me tell you this now, yeah? What's your name? What's my man? The commentator boy, the former...
Said Fortuna. Man said Fortuna isn't good, fam. Bro, he Ryan Garcia's watch, then get back to him at the weigh-in. Ryan Garcia, that's how I know he's a spiritual you know. If they ask Ryan Garcia, listen to Ryan Garcia, man, what was you thinking when he gave you back your watch? He said, bruv, I was thinking, I don't know what the man did. Did the man cook my watch, rub some ointment on my watch, do some juju on my watch? And I said, this boy knows the thing. He knows the thing. And it's true.
Yeah.
He didn't even know Fortuna at his watch. And you know the man, he probably took the watch and do some prayers on the watch. And give him back the watch at the weigh-in. But guess what? When you're a righteous man, return to sender. He got broke up. If he didn't try any of that nonsense, he got broke up. And that was a good performance by Ryan Garcia. And yeah, whatever Fortuna was playing.
Sergio Martinez was calling the fight for the zone yesterday, yeah? And Sergio said, right now I pick Tank to win that fight, but you know, and he pulled himself and said, but it's still a 50-50 fight. If you just tipped a man to win, how can it be a 50-50 fight? Shut up, you idiot. It's not a 50-50 fight. I'm telling you that. Listen, what the guy that I saw fight yesterday, Tank would destroy him, you know.
But that's right. Off the campus boxing, outside Gary Chain, he said fortune cookie from the Chinese takeaway blood. Off the campus boxing, he said, really, Tundi? He said, for me, I can definitely see Garcia causing Tank some problems. No, brother. That performance yesterday, he ain't causing Tank no problem. Hold on. Thank you, Mr. Chris.
Thank you very much.
Appreciated. £10. And remember, you have shop floor assistants in Tesco, not even earning £10 an hour. So don't think man sitting there thinking and not so appreciative of your hard-earned money. Thank you, Chris Andre Boxing, for the £10. He said, unless Garcia stops lifting his back foot off the floor and then swinging it around to square up, when he throws that right hand, he'll walk onto something against Tank. Where's that? He said, can't like that against him. There's a multitude of shots that he can't do against Tank. Like throwing that left hook and your right hand is by your chest. When he throws a left hook, bro, even go watch the pictures. He's throwing a left hook and his right hand is here.
Son, let me tell you this now, yeah? Where I see Oscar De La Hoya gassing up that you yesterday.
Oh my God.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It shows you how powerful the media is, and
yeah,
they make you not look at things that are really there. That's how powerful of what a man's saying is. You understand? And this is what I was talking about at the top of the show. I know what you mean about the overachievement, but sometimes we've got to be careful about the words that are coming out of our particular mouths.
Yeah.
Enough times you pull me up about certain things because we don't mean it. But
100.
These men are talking on that level, and you don't see things. I can see someone who's so vulnerable in Ryan Garcia. And he needs a couple of fights. He was much better than the previous fight with Joe Goosen. So credit to Joe Goosen and Ryan Garcia for improving. But he needs a tidying up a little bit more, Spence.
Son, I'm telling you this now, yeah, that Ryan Garcia needs saving from himself. Because as soon as And like you said, when I'm fighting at 140 now, because he said, right, you can't, it's too hard to get down to 135. I was like, cool, go do that. Do that if you want to go do that. But what I'm telling you this now, you can't fight Tank. Talk all the Tank talk that you want. I'm telling you, Tank will clap him out, son. It'd be horrible to see what Tank will do to him. I've said it. I'm not taking it back. We'll see. It's his first fight with Joe Goosen. So let's see.
Second fight.
Second fight with Joe Goosen. So we'll see where he's gonna go into.
Bro, it's only because you give me money. Tundi, I would love to lick your bald head top. Bro, for giving me a $5, you can say what you want, mate, but you ain't licking nothing. I'm a US man, I lick you down when I see you. Well, thank you, Jacob Orento, for that £5 and for that comment. You're giving me joke here. Anyway, carry on, Spence.
Yeah, listen, I see too many flaws in Ryan Garcia.
Yes.
Right? And even when he's punching, he's not punching with confidence. Then. I know when someone's punching with confidence. You see when they're fast and it's not done with confidence. Then. I'm sorry, it's not. Someone pull me up on it. It's not done with confidence.
You know, but I think, yeah, it's true. Tank should just take the fight anyway.
Exactly.
Tank should take the fight. But I don't know. I guess people are looking at Javante now and seeing how he performed against Rolly, and Rolly gave him a bit of trouble. But I don't.
Rolly's a liquor man.
The fight, yeah. Rolly never gave him no trouble. He was messing about with Rolly. He was actually messing about with Rolly. And then the first time he got serious, is like, you know what? Yeah, you man are taking this thing too serious now. And bam, fight over, one punch.
Yeah, gone.
And that's what Tank brings to the table. It's explosive power. Garcia's got the height and reach advantage, but we know that don't really wash with Tank, because we see what he done to the Virgil Hunter's boy, the Mexican boy, Barrios. Barrios was much bigger than him, much taller than him, and he just chopped him down.
Barrios is a good fighter.
Barrios is a good fighter. I mean, Keith Thurman couldn't stop him.
Exactly.
But all the same, it was a good performance by Ryan Garcia. And on to the next one. I'd be very, very surprised if we get Tank against Garcia for the next fight. Maybe we might have to get Leonard Ellaby on the show.
Yeah, we might have to draw for Leonard.
And see what Leonard...
I ain't talking to him in a hot minute, so we might have to go draw for him.
Yeah. I mean, go Daniel, go and watch the fight. Yeah, Rolly was giving... Tank had to think about things. There was even a time when I feel like, hold on, what, did he just drop Tank? You remember when he fell on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he Tank... Rolly can punch as well. Rolly is a strong guy. So
He can punch.
He can definitely punch, and it shows that, or the kind of, you know, what Tank's coming with. The problem with Tank is you have to get past his bodyguard Leonard, the nose Ellaby, to make the fight out. Come on, now we're dissing Leonard. Listen, you're talking about a CEO of probably, if not the richest fighter in history.
Probably he is.
He is. You know,
there's no probably in it.
So, and when people talk about you have to get past Ellaby, it's just that he knows the business better than all of us. Hence why Floyd was able to generate the money he did, and Tank is actually the big boy of that division, selling out the Barclays Center. You know, stars, Madonna. They obviously know what they're doing. None of us here are qualified to say anything with that regards. Bro, you see these men, yeah? You see these men. I'm just gonna
listen, Tundi, I would give the biggest lick to your head top, man, looking scrumptious. Scrumptious, you know.
Scrumptious.
Like you're Mr. Kipling.
I know what you're doing. You see these men here, yeah? These men are what Don Child called agents. Don Child called these men agents. But I get what you're trying to do. So let me tell you what this brother's trying to do. The Fight Is Right listeners. He is trying to get me to say something disrespectful to or about other people. And then it damages my name. But I know your tricks, fam. So all I'm doing is reading out.
Keep on sending the money, bro.
Keep on sending the money. We need the money.
Yes, that's all I care for.
So you think that them games can't work with me? I'm from the ends. I know your tricks. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep sending the money, and I will just keep reading out your comment. And you will get
man, you know, too blessed.
Yeah, all the runnings. You know that. You wanna try to palm me off as some little homophobic brother, but no, brother, you're not getting that from me. You're not getting from me. I'm ahead of you, my man. So don't try that. Just keep sending the money, and I will keep reading out your comments. Thank you very much. Anyway, Jermaine, we ain't blocking him. We're not blocking him. We're not blocking him.
Because he's sending money in, Jermaine.
Okay, he's sending money. So keep sending the money, fam. man's got me thinking what Tundi's head tastes like now for FCAs. My head's sweet, man, sweet. Hamza Shiraz against Eubanks. Good fight. That
was a good stoppage win. That was a good stoppage win by Hamza, you know.
Good stoppage win by Hamza Shiraz last night. Excellent. Young Boxer of the Year. Frank is
my man's come back again, you know.
Another 5 spin.
I ain't trying to do anything. I'm just looking to lick that scrumptious head top. Nothing else.
Bro, you've given us about 20 squid now. Bro,
yeah, cool.
Keep doing it, mate. Anyway, keep working. We love it. We love it. We're going to 1:45 now, so we're already 46 minutes past the normal time of our show.
Yeah, man. You got to jump off, man.
And I think I see Ratman Jr.
They're saying like, they're gonna come in like my girl Alvina, big up Alvina. You know, I mean, she was like, they're gonna come in. They're gonna come in for in the week. I was like, all right, no, say nothing because he's got a train and so we should have had him on today. But it is what it is. I'm glad like I've had you guys on there. I mean, we've got on a live right now, Ton.
383 people still here.
Powerful, man. That is very, very powerful.
I mean, Francois, when you're saying yet again, please can you answer the bro? Put some Snapchat money, and then we might call it. Don't try bully man to read out your question, and because of that, I'm not even gonna read it out. About yet again, bro. Put some money.
Who's the brother's name? What's his name?
Rodney Francois. Please, yet again, like he in there telling man what to do.
Like exactly. That's the reason why you got Snapchat. You got Snapchat on your thing, bro.
What's about with these brothers? Old type Jermaine Poole coming there demanding up everything. Coming there demanding yet again. No, sir, it's not that kind of show. It's a show where if the energy feels right, your comments get read. Thank you for the compliment. See, I'm giving you energy. Don't push it now because I'll block you. No. But Balfour, you're saying people are broke out here, but it's not necessarily the money. I always read your comments. You don't put it. I ain't see you give me no Snapchat money or Spencer no Snapchat money. But the energy is correct. So you know this is an energy show, and we will read out your comments again. Off the canvas, yet again. Do me a favor, lad. Bro, the cheek of it about yet again. I did ask politely several times. All right.
You know what, Rodney Francis, what question did you ask?
He was saying then, he was actually saying, what is the incentive for Tank to fight Garcia? Which is actually a good question, but it's the same incentive what Nigel Benn, which Conor Benn and Eubanks have got. It's money.
Skrilla.
Dope.
Yeah, it's a dope. That would be the incentive for him to go and fight him. And not only that, he's a massive draw, you know. Gervonta Tank Davis is a massive draw in America.
100%.
Right? And he's doing everything right because he's getting in there and he's knocking out brothers. So him and Ryan Garcia, that would be a massive, massive fight for massive money. But could be the fact that Tank's looking at it like, I need this little idiot guy. Me personally, if I was Tank, I'd take the fight.
But you know what? Again, Leonard Enemy touched on this. There's a lot of skullduggery going around with numbers, and they're hyping the numbers. They're not telling people the real numbers. So maybe this is the information which Leonard has and we don't have. And he's saying, bro, this guy ain't doing no numbers. You're not getting no big payday from us. You understand? We might as well go about our own business, do our own business, still generate the massive numbers which Tank is doing and fight. So, listen, I've always said that's why you employ people if you don't know, who know about this side of the game. But from a fan's perspective, I would like to see that fight. Tank against Ryan Garcia, because Garcia's got the people talking again. And after that performance last night, it is a bit more intriguing. Wouldn't you say?
It is a bit more intriguing, but styles make fights, and you know what I mean, it's correct and clever matchmaking on behalf of for Ryan Garcia, because I still can't get out of my head that Luke Campbell at the tail end of his career managed to lick you down, bro.
Jacob Orento and Jermaine, we already know where it is, fam. He says, Tundi, you got a lot of sweat on that shiny face. Let a brother help you out with some licks to the face. Bro, the only lick to the face that's coming is in your face, which you will get when you try to lick my face. About lick to the face. But thank you again, sir, for the £5. Much appreciated it. Fam.
The devil's agents are moving mad out here.
They're moving mad out here tonight. But guess what? They're paying, bro. So I know business. Come on, old tight Air Force 286 cocoa butter, sir. You know, I've been put up the little lick tongue. I want him blood. Bro, you lot are swearing on the
Rodney, I think that Gerard Innes is an excellent fighter. Matter of fact, I go. I ain't calling his dad today. I'm not calling no one. I want to go to my bed.
No, Gerard Innes
I've had a long day today. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a very long day.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to 10 o'clock. We'll go to 10 o'clock. Might as well 10 o'clock. Because I got work to do. The devil is working overtime out here, but we get it. We get it. It don't matter. Listen, hear no evil, see no evil. That's always been my, my view. Innes is the truth. He looks it. Certainly does look like a good fighter. Very dedicated, humble, and eventually, just like David Benavidez, you're gonna have to fight him. And me and Spencer was touching on this earlier. All these guys dodging and ducking and what have you. In boxing, if you really want the big reward, you're gonna have to fight these guys. What these YouTubers have done, they've led a lot of people into a false sense of security and thinking that they can just fight these YouTube men and just make a king's ransom and never, But really, yeah. Again, everybody has different motivations. And some people really want to be legends of the sport, because money in itself doesn't make you a legend.
It doesn't.
Money doesn't make you a legend. Bro, there's people's money that you don't even know. There's so much. They got so much money, but you don't know nothing about them. You understand? Jacob, come again.
He said, "Let me lick your eyelids now."
Let me lick your eyelids. Bro, what's the matter with this brother? Jacob, Ontario. Man, I see you, but I'll send my goons for you. I'll send the man them for you. I'm going to send the man them for him. About come let you like eyelids. Bro, I got my people on Facebook watching this thing here. And that DP better not be your real face. It can never be. But thank you for the £5. I really appreciate it. The chances of you licking my eyelids is about as much as me fighting Mike Tyson.
Right, yeah, Edward Jermaine said, I'm not selling my soul to this. Block that.
No, we're not blocking. We're not blocking, brethren. Keep him up there. Keep him up, because listen, when you know who you are, you know who you are. So.
My favorite clip was that Robert Broney says Ben Odom's changed his name or what?
Oh yeah, you know what? I spoke to Ben the other day. Still, well, not spoke to him. He sent me a voice note and stuff. So I'll let you know about that, Spence. I've been so busy, as you know.
Yeah. You gotta be
Yeah,
working on
Garcia,
it.
definitely trolling, but it's all good. It's all good. Keep trolling. Them troller man, they don't really bother me. I don't really bother. He just, I don't know. He's just saying what he wants to say in it. Jared Ennis versus Conor Benn. It's obvious we're not seeing that fight, those type of fight now. You know, because again, we've gone into this. It's not even about belts no more. It's not even about belts. It's just about.
It's
I
not.
don't know. Everybody, it's everybody for everybody. Everybody has a different opinion on how they think.
Turn from the time we're seeing. Told you.
KSI has sold out the O2 already,
Mad, innit?
bro. But hold on. Where's the tickets? And where's the tickets out for AJ's fight?
You know what? The tickets out for AJ's fight. Remember, it's got nothing to do with a Matchroom or anyone else. It's the Saudis controlling it.
Okay.
So that is the Saudis that have to be saying that they're gonna do whatever. But the AJ fight's got nothing to do with Matchroom.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, I think AJ's out in Saudi now. I just see him on the plane because I was speaking to KD and he was just flying out. So yeah, we'll see what's going on right now. Like I said, boxing. Boxing is buzzing. It's like, but the madness is this. No one ain't really talking about AJ's fight more than that. They're not, are they?
No, I can't really. I don't really feel the energy.
No one ain't really talking about that fight like that anymore. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But no one ain't.
Pound for pound, top 5, gentlemen.
Right now, my pound for pound top 5 right now is Terence Crawford at number 1. Even though he just lost, I've still got Canelo quite high. So I would say Terence Crawford. Well, it's hard, you know. I've got Terence Crawford at number 1. Then I've got Usyk at number 2. I've got Errol Spence at number 3. I've got Inouye at number 4. I would have Josh Taylor at number 5, but I've got to give that one to Canelo.
Interesting.
Right? And yeah. But Canelo, what the thing about it is like they're fooling the public again. Eddie Earn was saying, Canelo versus Triple G is 10 times bigger or 100 times bigger than Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Tundi, I'm not interested in watching Canelo fight Triple G. I mean, Triple G older than dirt right now. But I'm not interested in that fight at all. Not one bit of me like, they're fighting like, I have to watch this fight. I'm salivating over it. I'm not. You know what I mean? Canelo got his the other day against Bivol, but you can escape to say, well, you know what? You're a smaller guy and and all the rest of it. But I'm not interested in seeing the Triple G Canelo fight at all. I like the little things how Triple G is. I like how Triple G's kind of banning the fire on Canelo about like, his behavior. Maybe it's the meat that's getting the better of him or all the rest of it. He's like taking little pops. But I'm not really interested in that fight.
My pound for pound in no particular order. There's no 1 to 5. Usyk, Crawford, Alvarez, Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
And finally, Tyson Fury. Because Tyson Fury ain't retired. Tyson Fury tried trick, man. Tyson Fury ain't retired, fam. So he's in my top 5. He's in my top pound for pound. Usyk, Alvarez, Crawford, Fury, and Shakur Stevenson.
You know what, Chris,
Shakur Stevenson is a very
he's
smart.
he's the best boxer in the world, Tundi.
I'm telling you.
He's the best boxer in the world.
I'm telling you. Shakur Stevenson is a problem.
Tunde, more than a problem. He's the best boxer in the world.
All right.
You can realize when I've said it.
You man, I'm telling you, that's the top 5. Ching Ho Lee, we'll soon see.
I mean, someone said
Inui, the reason why I don't put Inui is definitely in the top 10. The reason why, is that Inui, yeah. The reason why I don't put it
he's a bad man.
No. It's not that.
No, he's a bad man too.
I study. Oh yeah, he's a bad man. I study all of his fights. But there ain't no competition. That's why I can't put him up there. If he does like a Manny Pacquiao and start roll through the divisions, then I'll say yeah. But when you're fighting these no fish and chip fighters, when I say no fish and chips, meaning they ain't got no food in their belly, no curry goat fighters, no ounce of meat on their body, I can't have you in the top 5. I can't. He's definitely in the top 10 because he's incredible. Vicious left hooks,
vicious.
Doubles up, uppercut. Just a great fighter. But Inui has to have competition. You understand what I'm saying? He has to have them Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, these kind of fights. Even putting Dylan and those kind of, Dylan and Derek Chisora and all these kind of competition.
Yeah, you got names. Yeah, you got names.
These elite names, Terrence Crawford, you got Errol Spence, you had Sean Porter, you had, Khan at one time, all these guys, they got competition. Alvarez, we know Alvarez is back and forth, but it's competition there for him. But for Inui, I just don't see the competition. And that's the issue that I have. 2 minutes past 10, Spence.
I'm going to bed. That's what I'm going to do right now.
It's been a great discussion. Over 300 people still stay with us. 366, 367, never dropping below that. And great. Next week, what is the boxing schedule? Next week, I know there's boxer. What's happening next week? Schedule. Next week is not the 30th. No, next week will be the 23rd. Oh, the 30th we got Chris Balaam Smith and Isaac Chamberlain. We're definitely gonna have to do something for that. But I can't see no Isaac Dogbow's fighting next week.
Okay.
Yeah, Isaac Dogbow's fighting those, but there doesn't seem to be nothing spectacular going on next week. It's more the week after. Gary Anton Russell. He's unbeaten at the moment. Gary Russell, the other brother. I think he actually beat. He beat.
I said, don't go.
Oh, tight, my man Jacob is saying, "Don't go, Tundi." He actually beat. Antoine Russell actually beat Innis in the box.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think he beat him 2 times out of 3, or maybe 3 or 4 times out of 5. So that'll be a good matchup later on down the road if that happens. Josh Kelly's due to fight, but he ain't fighting no one of note next week. Yeah, so really next week on the British front. Oh no, that's on the 30th. Next week there ain't no one. Only Isaac Dogbo, who we know, and he's not going to be the house fighter in that contest.
Who's he fighting?
Joet Gonzalez, who at the moment is he's an American, I guess an American Mexican. it could be a good opportunity. You know, he's 25-2, never been stopped. Navarrete beat him on unanimous points in the fight before the last. This is the same Navarrete, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he beat Isaac and stop Isaac?
Stopped him.
Yeah, he beat him. Yeah, he stopped Isaac. He beat him unanimous the first time, stopped him in the second fight. So I can see Top Rank's matchmaking here. It's a good fight. It's a fight where we see who's just below and maybe get a rematch down the line.
No, because Isaac's moved up to featherweight now. So he was at super bantamweight before. This fight's at feather.
Bro, this brother's giving bare fibers. Let me eat the food remains out of your teeth.
I'm gone now. I can't be
Yeah, we're done with this brother now, man. Yeah. Bro, as much as I would like to continue to take
I'm done with this talk.
Your donations, Jacob, we're not giving you no more air. So wherever you come from, come back next week. Give me some more money.
All the runnings, Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall is on the 10th of September at the O2. And Tundi predicted it when he sat with Claressa. This is 2 years ago when Claressa came over to the UK. She did, and her first proper interview was on the Fighters Right, where she came over to Tundi's penthouse and she went on the balcony. She looked at the O2 and Tundi said, "Look, dream it, believe it, become it. You're going to be fighting there soon." And now look.
Not in Newcastle, you know. Not in it's in Sutton.
Yeah, it's in O2.
I told her that we're going to make that thing happen.
Right, cool. You know what I mean? Straight.
And it's here. I'll be here for you. Get the last fiver in, mate.
Yeah, man, get it in, man. I'm glad.
My friend is going to watch this show back and she is going to say to me, they're out for you. They're out for you. Bro, keep coming, man. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Daniel J. iBoxing Hub, Fight Fan TV, all of you, Miss Ringside, Off the Canvas, Jermaine, I think I've said Ivan, Gary. It's been a great show. Join us next week, 100%, 8 p.m. Hopefully we won't go over the hour mark, which is what we're supposed to do every Sunday. But all the same, it's been a great show. Spencer Fearon, we're going to sign off the same way we signed in by saying, dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. See you lot next week. But if I get Hassan Ratman Jr. this week, I mean, I'll just do it myself because I know I can't be bothering Tundi when he's in his bare study. But it is what it is. Peace, two fingers. Thanks for every single person for joining. And Friday's my mom's send-off. So, I mean...
sorry. Yeah. That just came out at the wrong time. Alan Skills in Tundi. I think Jacob's seeing, believing, and becoming a head licker. Run, mate. Sorry, Spence.
Nah, I'm saying. So, for the support, it is 12 o'clock, West Norwood, St. Luke's Church. That's SE 27 for my mother's send-off this Friday. And on that, and you know what? It's like, seriously, all of you people on this show have so helped me. My brother, Tun, Gary, trust me, the help's just been mad, the support's been mad. It's made things so much easier. You know what I mean? And that's that. So we keep on pushing forward. And I'll see you lot next week. Peace, two fingers. We out.